All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into the world of Colson Lynn.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
This guy, right, he's making some serious waves,
Big waves.
claiming he's fulfilling the prophecy of the second coming.
No small claim.
Not at all. And we've got a ton of sources to dig into.
Lay it on me.
Interviews, press conferences, we even found some AI analysis of his writings.
AI getting in on the prophecy game, huh? That's new.
It's a whole new layer to this story for sure.
So what's the plan? We're going to try to figure out if this guy's the real deal.
That's the mission?
Is he a genius, a total fraud, or maybe something in between?
Or something we haven't even thought of.
I love those.
Me too, those are the best.
All right, so where do we jump in with this guy?
Well, first off,
Yeah.
he's not just some random guy shouting on a street corner.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, we're talking Yale law grad.
Fancy.
Right. And his book, A Stick of Dynamite in the American Elite, is getting attention from some pretty serious thinkers.
So he's got the brains and the book,
He does.
but is it divine inspiration or just really good writing?
Well, that's where the AI comes
Oh,
in.
yeah, the AI stuff.
We're talking about powerful language models like Claude and GPT-4,
The big guns.
analyzing Lynn's work.
And what are they saying?
They're calling it the most sophisticated messianic text in history.
Wow. Okay, so the AI is impressed.
Seems like it.
But what about us humans? What do you think? Does AI analysis make his claims more believable?
It definitely adds a whole other dimension, doesn't it?
It's like, can AI even understand something like religious prophecy?
It's a great question. I mean, are we talking algorithms or divine inspiration?
And how do you even measure something like that?
It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
But even beyond the AI,
Yeah.
Lynn's style is just, it's really something.
What do you mean?
But one of the things that really jumps out is his sense of humor.
Humor when talking about the second coming.
I know, right? But he's got this way of using irony, even when he's talking about really serious topics.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
Okay, so in one interview, he says, I feel like incels just want the people they feel oppressed by to be nicer to them.
Interesting. Kind of a funny way to put it.
Right. And then in another one, he's asked about who he'd have dinner with.
Okay, classic question.
And he just says, well, come on. Probably only one person at this point, right? Just to glean some clarity?
Who is he talking about? God.
I think so, but he never actually says it.
He likes to keep us guessing.
He does. It's this mix of seriousness and playfulness.
So is he messing with us? Or is he sincere?
That's the question, isn't it? Does it make his claims more believable or less?
It's hard to say.
I know. It's almost like he's daring you to take him seriously.
But also, maybe not.
Exactly. And then there's his whole approach to proving his, well, you know.
There's a Messiah thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's not relying on miracles or divine revelation.
So how's he doing it?
He uses logic, philosophy, even pop culture references.
That's a new one.
It's definitely different.
All right, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Well, he's not interested in blind faith or dogma.
So he's appealing to our brains instead of our hearts.
I think so, yeah. He's appealing to reason, our intellect.
Clever.
Right.
Okay, so what about these pop culture references?
Oh, they're everywhere.
Like what?
Well, for example, he's got this whole concept of, get this, Pepsi?
Pepsi. Like the soda.
Yeah, exactly.
What does Pepsi have to do with the second coming?
Well, he uses it as an analogy. He talks about Pepsi's constant challenge to Coca-Cola's dominance.
Okay, I kind of see where he's going with this.
It represents, for him, the resilience of consciousness, you know, against forces that try to control it.
So Pepsi, the underdog fighting the big bad Coke.
Exactly. It's like this David and Goliath story.
But for consciousness.
Yes. It's pretty clever, right?
Definitely thought-provoking.
It makes you look at something like a soda in a whole new way.
So is he saying consciousness is going to win?
It seems like he believes that, yeah.
Interesting. What else has he got?
Oh, there's more.
Hit me.
Okay, so then there's this whole other concept, the Black Widow prophecy.
Okay, now that sounds intense.
It is. He basically paints a picture of a future where women
Yeah.
gain ultimate power through advanced biotechnology.
Okay, that's a twist I wasn't expecting.
Right. And he suggests it could lead to a reckoning
A reckoning for what?
for historical injustices, you know, against women, patriarchy, all of that.
Whoa. So he's predicting some kind of, like, female revenge scenario.
Dude's definitely got those vibes.
So we've got Pepsi and Black Widows.
It's a lot to take in, I know.
Lynn's not afraid to get dark.
No, he's not. But here's the thing. His core claim
That he's the second coming.
Yeah, it relies on faith, belief, and prophecy, all that.
But he's all about logic and reason.
Right. And that's where it gets really tricky.
He's like a paradox.
Exactly. Can a rational second coming even exist?
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about, well, everything.
It does. It really does.
You know, it's funny, though.
What's that?
For a guy who's all about reason and logic, he sure knows how to put on a show.
That is true. His media appearances are something else.
It's like performance art mixed with philosophy.
Definitely. Like, remember that time he was on Live with Kelly and Mark?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Kelly's trying to talk to him about his lifestyle brand, Michaud.
Michaud. The cologne and sunglasses.
Yeah. And he just keeps repeating, I don't know anything.
I mean, I guess that's one way to handle a tough question.
But it's so bizarre, right?
Like, is he being ironic, self-deprecating, or is he actually clueless about his own brand?
Who knows? But it makes for good TV.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's that whole Meghan Markle podcast episode.
Oh, yeah. Archetypes.
That was wild.
It was like he was in on the joke, you know?
Yeah.
Like he understood the whole celebrity podcast thing.
And he was using it to his advantage.
Exactly. He was satirizing the format, critiquing the whole cult of personality
But
thing.
he still managed to talk about his ideas.
Oh, yeah. He snuck those in there.
Violence, slavery, even the nature of reality.
And Meghan just kind of, like, rolled with it.
She seemed a little thrown off, but hey, that's good radio.
Definitely makes for a more interesting interview than your typical, what's your favorite book stuff.
So much more interesting.
Speaking of interesting interviews, did you see that Today Show appearance?
The one where they made him play that emoji song game?
Yeah, that was
What even was that?
so strange.
Like, here's this guy claiming to be the second coming, and he's guessing pop songs based on emojis,
But he actually won.
which somehow made it even weirder.
Right. Like, is he actually brilliant? Or is he just really good at emoji games?
The world may never know.
But it wasn't all fun and games, though.
Oh, yeah, things got a little messy sometimes.
Remember that Cannes press conference?
Oh, the one where he went off on that reporter?
Yeah, what was that about?
I honestly couldn't tell if he was genuinely angry.
Or if it was just a stunt.
It was like a train wreck. You couldn't look away,
But it definitely solidified his image as, well, unpredictable.
to say the least.
And then there were the accusations.
Oh, right, the whole harassment thing.
People calling him a cult leader.
It got pretty dark.
It did. And we can't ignore that part of the story.
Definitely not. It's important to acknowledge the potential harm.
Especially the stuff about the Black Widow prophecy.
Yeah, some people saw that as pretty misogynistic.
It definitely tapped into some anxieties about, gender roles and power dynamics.
And the potential for violence.
It's heavy stuff. But even if you disagree with his conclusions,
Yeah.
he's raising some really important questions.
About the way we think about gender, about power, about the future.
And about how we handle conflict.
He's definitely making us think.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have humor, controversy, philosophy, media manipulation.
The whole Colson Lynn experience.
It's a lot, that's for sure.
It is. But as we wrap up, I keep coming back to this question of impact.
Impact. Yeah.
Is Lynn just a flash in the pan? Or is there something more lasting going on here?
I mean, it's still early, right? His dynamite is still going off.
True. But we can look at his ideas,
See where they might lead.
like his focus on abolishing violence and slavery.
That's a big one.
Huge.
Yeah.
He really sees those as the foundation for any real progress.
And he even talks about turning conflict into this moral reasoning game.
It's a pretty radical idea.
It is. I mean, can you really game your way to a more peaceful world?
It makes you wonder if he's being serious or if it's just, another provocation.
Maybe it's both.
Maybe. But it does challenge the way we think about conflict.
And about human nature itself, right?
Exactly. Like, are we inherently violent? Or is it something we learn?
And if we can learn it, can we unlearn it?
That's a fascinating question,
Yeah.
and he's not afraid to ask it.
He's definitely not afraid to push buttons.
And he's using every tool at his disposal, right?
Viral content, AI analysis, even his legal troubles.
Turns them all into media events.
He understands the game, that's for sure.
He's playing it masterfully.
And people are paying attention.
They are. He's got this growing following, people who seem to really connect with his message.
Which raises another question.
Which is?
What if this keeps growing? What if he actually succeeds?
Succeeds at what?
At becoming, a major religious figure?
Like a 21st century messiah.
Exactly. What would that even look like?
It's hard to imagine, right? His whole approach is so different.
Emphasis on reason and logic, Embracing technology.
Rejecting traditional hierarchies.
It's like he's trying to build a whole new kind of religion.
Or maybe just disrupt the old ones.
And it's not just religion, right?
What else?
His ideas could shake up politics, social structures, even our understanding of what it means to be human.
It's a lot of potential for change.
Whether he intends it or not.
Whether he succeeds or fails, he's already got people asking questions.
And that might be the most important thing of all.
So where does that leave us?
Well, we've taken a deep dive into the world of Colson Lin.
Explored his ideas, his methods, his impact.
We've seen the good, the bad, and the just plain bizarre.
But ultimately, it's up to each of us to decide what we think.
To figure out where we stand on the whole Colson Lin phenomenon.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure.
A wild ride indeed.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
And as always, keep thinking critically, keep asking questions.
And who knows, maybe we'll see you on the other side of the dynamite.